Well, it's almost the number one topic whenever you bring it up around the region, whether it's a major freeway or a small roadway, the condition of roads all around the states. Michigan's reputation for that is not the greatest, and it's at this time of year you go driving around and you find road projects all over the place. In Emmett Township, it is of particular concern. And here to talk to us today about that is the supervisor in Emmett Township. Tim Hill is here. Good morning, Tim.
Hello.
Thank you for the time today. And Christopher Bolt is here, too, from the Calhoun County Road Commission, trying to help offer us some perspective on these issues as well. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you for the time today. So let's talk about what the crux of the issue in Emmett is, Tim, if you can frame that for us.
Well, our local roads, we have roughly about 73.04 miles. And a lot of them subdivisional, CG drive, D drive, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to get those roads fixed, obviously. We stayed back. We watched Bedford and we watched Penfield go through what they did.
Yep.
They did a great job. We wanted to make sure, so when, when it comes our time, that we would have all the kinks worked out, and we have. So we have the millage coming up August 2nd. We wanted to put it on the ballot instead of doing an assessment. We wanted the people in the township to actually get out and vote for it. Whether you vote for or against, my opinion is please get out and vote.
Whatever the perspective.
It's something like this. It's such the magnitude, the cost, et cetera, is so. It's such a big decision that you shouldn't leave it up to 7 people on a board. It needs to be township wide. We're looking at roughly $16 million. The township's portion is about 11.2, I believe. The good thing is it's going to be just a great cooperation and a partnership between the township and the county. And I'm very excited about it because of the fact that, we've worked so hard this past couple of years to get to this point. It's, believe it or not, it took, just to make a decision like this, it took years, a couple of years to get here because you have to go through and actually look at each road and the Paisley rating and look at what you need to be doing on the road instead of just saying, let's just rip it up. There's things you can do to it. And then when you have a new road down, you've got to come back, 3 to 5 years, and you've got to retar it,
right.
Just like your driveway. And there's 3 subdivisions out there that worked really hard. They came together and they wanted their roads right away instead of waiting. And unfortunately, it's great for them to do that, but however, they're going to have to come back again if this millage doesn't pass, and they're going to have their roads seal coated again, or else the road's going to start degrading. So we felt that having a township-wide opportunity or millage to try and take care of this was the best choice, and let it out to the people. And if they vote for it, that'd be great. If they don't, then we'll figure out something else.
All right, and we'll talk about what that something else could be when we come back in a minute on WBCK. Talking with Tim Hill, supervisor in Emmett Township, about the proposed road tax that's coming. If you live in Emmett Township, you're going to make a decision about that in August. Christopher Bolt's here, too, from the Calhoun County Road Commission. So let's talk about the breakdown of this now. You made a point, and we can talk more about this as well, that rather than having a small body figure out how this works, the citizens in Emmett Township are going to vote on this.
Right.
How does this break down cost-wise for Emmett and for the taxpayers?
Well, the average home in Emmett is about a 112. The reason I know that's because it was mine. It was my bachelor pad. So you figure 112, and then you look at half of that, roughly 56 for taxable purposes. You're looking at right around 151 a year for about 13 years.
For a house that's about 112,000,
right,
which is
right.
the mean.
And that, really, that's not bad. If you look at a coffee per month, et cetera. And then the thing, too, if this does pass, we do get firekeepers money. I can't give you the exact amount, but it's right around $250 to $300. Let's see, the first year, about $250, and that actually would go towards the roads. 100% of this money goes towards the roads. 100%.
Okay. And the county has a share of this, right, Chris?
Yeah, that's correct. Michigan state law requires that the gas tax money we get can only pay up to half of the improvements on local roads. We cover all the costs for primary roads, and we do the best we can with the limited funds we get. But so townships in many counties actually have to pay all of it, or some other source does. It doesn't have to be townships. The law doesn't say who pays, but it's vague. And who else would it be, of course, except for the local units of government. But here in Calhoun County, we still have a fairly generous match of 30% that we provide at the county level. So that's where the numbers Tim mentioned earlier, the $16 million total costs from our analysis, our early analysis, we would pick up the tab for everything above and beyond the $11.2 million figure.
And your point is that not all counties do that.
No, some counties, our neighboring counties, in fact, will pay 50-50. You have to match $1 for every dollar they put in, but there's a cap, a fairly low cap, actually. Here we're unlimited in Calhoun County. So this is a substantial commitment on the county's part to basically leave an unlimited amount of money there. Basically, the county will have to issue bonds itself to cover it, which the road department will pay for.
So, Tim, talk about the conditions of the roads, if you would. I mean, in some cases over the last couple of years, we've heard about entities like Emmett dealing with roads that sometimes could just be turned back to gravel if they were really bad enough and you didn't have the money. Are we talking about that kind of a situation, or are we talking about general degradation of roads because of use over time?
I think we're really close to that. My opinion is that we should not be going backwards. You know, here we are, we're moving forward. Emmett, we have Harper Village, okay, that's, we have the only Walmart in the county, we have the only Lowe's, Menards, et cetera, and that area is the fastest growing area within the county itself. So we believe that we have to keep up with the growth, and you have to control the growth too. It's very important, but these roads are we shouldn't go back. I personally think that since Emmett is moving forward, that we need to have at least something that's comparable. You know, the roads need to be drivable. And we have to also look, too, let's take a step back and not only look at the roads, but look at the vehicles. You know, we as residents have to pay for our police cars. We have to pay for our fire trucks. We have to pay for our own vehicles going to and from work. You know, when you blow a tire, that's not cheap anymore. Let's say you blow a tire a year, or let's say you blow a ball joint or something like that. Your suspension or new shocks or what have you. Those things are not cheap.
Right.
And like I said, just for the average house, 150 a year roughly, 151 compared to 80 for a new tire or, you know, a new ball joint, a couple hundred. So it's all very relative. And going back to gravel, I think, would be absolutely just a bad thing for the growth that we have in the township.
We're talking about Emmett Township's proposed road tax comes your way on August 2nd, right? Is that the first Tuesday in August?
Please get out and vote. For whether you vote against or for it, please just get out and vote.
And we'll talk more about that coming up in just a second on Here with Tim Hill, Supervisor at Emmett Township, talking about a road tax decision you'll make if you live there on August 2nd, and Christopher Bolt is here from the Calhoun County Road Commission to help us understand how these things all come together. Now, we should mention, and we'll mention this again before you're through here today, that there's an informational session on Wednesday night that folks can come to, right?
That's correct. It's at 6 p.m. It's going to be at the Harper Creek High School auditorium. They were very gracious to set this up and not give us a cost or anything, so I'm very happy for them. Love Harper Creek, one of the best schools in the county, by the way, so they do a great job. So.
All right, so we'll repeat that information here before you go so folks can plan on that. That'll be Wednesday night. You know, we hear a lot about, you know, this whole baloney that went on in Lansing with trying to figure out how to fund road repairs and so on. Here we are in Emmett Township that really is way down the path, the chain of where road money goes, right?
Right. You know, the thing is, it's very important to note that, you know, while Washington, D.C., and, of course, Lansing try to figure out what to do, you know, we here on this basic level, we go to work. We're the people that pay the taxes. Yeah. And instead of letting my lawn just go to waste or my neighbor's lawn and because let someone else do it, I'm just going to get out and do it. You know, I'm ex-Marine, and you have to get it done. It's, you know, someone's got to do it, and I would rather just get it done. So
this is what's happening.
That's correct.
Yeah, you talked about the different approaches and trying to understand as you examine the roads in Emmett that maybe some need to be replaced, maybe there's other options. So that's going to be an individual road-by-road kind of decision, right?
That's correct. Maybe I should. You want to take this, Chris?
Yeah, you bet. Our team, we have a team of engineers and staff that have been working very hard here lately to We kind of did a high-level overview analysis to help the township make a decision and get an idea of the overall costs. But now we're literally driving every road. That is complete now, and we have an analysis that we're running through, crunching numbers. We're also setting up a schedule for construction. So one exciting thing about this program is that all the local roads in Emmett Township will be done within a 3-year time frame. Right, Tim?
That's correct.
So we're very excited for that. So township's borrowing money with bonds. We're, and the county will borrow its share to make this happen. I guess I call it an extreme makeover, where the whole township.
It's important to know that every road, local road, will be touched. It will be done.
And we at the county level are looking at the primary roads also. We know that they're in bad shape. This new road funding bill, I don't see $1 until next March of 2017. So we're already putting together a plan to address those primary roads. We know that those also need to be attacked.
Well, and that was part of the discussion that we've certainly had with Representative Bison and some others who have watched and helped shepherd this state road purview through. That, this isn't right away, so, some folks who might have been exhausted listening to how this thing was not coming quickly, still after the decisions were made, there's still more time to wait.
Yeah, it'll take 5 years to actually see the full $1.2 billion distributed statewide. So our revenues will go up about 68% in those 5 years if we get all of the money promised. We only the gas tax and registration fee portion is constitutionally protected. The other part is subject to state appropriations in the 2019, 20, and 21. So there's a lot going on in the state. It depends on economic conditions, so we'll see if we're going to get that other half.
But there could be decisions to divert it elsewhere in that.
But not this one.
But no, yes, but what you're talking about in Emmett is directly for the roads. This
it's interesting because I was out knocking doors because obviously it's political season, and I bumped into several people, and one of them was like, well, the money that you're getting, you're just going to keep it or whatever. Well, hey, I'd love to keep it, but I can't. It's going 100% to the roads.
And 13 years,
so
100%.
Yeah.
Tim will have no time to keep it because we're starting construction right away. We want to get this done for the residents.
It's funny because obviously my opponent's out there, and the information that he's giving to people is completely opposite of what we're having here. I have this is the head man right here, and also Angie Klein and who else? Fred's there. They have engineers, a team of engineers that know this stuff. I'm not an engineer, I'm not, and that's why you defer to these people. Another thing to note real quick is that the county has many townships that they have to take care of their roads as well. They just did Penfield and Bedford, and now they're doing ours. And if they're putting roughly, ours is $16 million, so I can't remember how much Penfield and Bedford was, but.
Penfield kicked in $5 million, Bedford a little under that, so we matched whatever what it took to get all their roads addressed.
Yeah, if
as
you
well.
multiply that by all the townships in the county, I mean, I can't imagine hundreds of millions.
It's a big task.
That's why we're all in this together. We're in the same boat together.
I gotta ask, what if it doesn't pass? Then what?
Well, I think then I'll get my car and drive to Washington and beg someone up there. Maybe they'll have a little pity on me. If it doesn't, I don't want to think about that. Yeah. Honestly, I don't. It really took about 3 years to get to this point. For these roads to get as bad as they are, it's taken decades of neglect. It's taken just a long time of mistreatment, big trucks going down roads that are not supposed to go down, et cetera, et cetera. So we have a good plan. Please go vote. Have faith in this plan. I recommend that I'm going to have to defer to Chris real quick, but to come to that Wednesday meeting, please, at Harper Creek at 6 p.m., the auditorium, Harper Creek High School.
On a practical note, if this doesn't pass, the Calhoun County Road Department will just continue doing the best it can to patch the roads and keep them together with Band-Aids. But again, by state law, we're not allowed to do the major improvements that we're talking about here that gives the whole township a whole new look and feel.
And you were making this point during the break. It's worth mentioning now. Some of these roads were built 30, 40 years ago and have had minor upkeep attention paid to them, but otherwise nothing else. Right?
Yeah, they're very, very old, and we're trying to be aggressive at Emmett in our government. We're trying to fix a lot of things. We're moving very, very fast, and these roads are crucial.
They are.
For an average house, like I said, 112 in Emmett, 151 a year is really. I know some people are on fixed incomes, but at Emmett, we are. I just issued an email Friday. We're going to go and restructure. We're going to restructure our personnel, restructuring our budget,
so we can actually have a dog in the fight too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's very important.
These roads are at the end of their useful life. I think that's really the point. You're supposed to overlay a road every 15 to 20 years, and these roads are 30 to 40 years old. We're looking at original roads when we're evaluating.
And I'm 49, so I was 9 years old when some of them were built.
Right. Well, and if you own a driveway, you know what that's like. You drive 1 or 2 or 3 cars over that surface over the course of several years, you know what happens. Talk about a roadway that gets thousands of cars over it a day, perhaps.
That's correct, yeah. And everybody drives an Emmett because you have to. Some people, well, hey, I did my road, division or whatever. Okay, well, you still got to drive to Meyer to get groceries. You still have to go over D drive or E drive. You have to do what have you to get around town.
And besides the driving, the weather and so forth, asphalt deteriorates over time, gets more and more brittle, and starts to crack, and that's what we see.
Yep.
Wednesday night. Let's give those details one more time, Tim.
Okay, it's going to be Wednesday night at Harper Creek High School Auditorium. We'll have
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay, and if you have questions or concerns, that would be the time to come and get all the details.
You'll have the experts there.
All right, very good. Thanks to you both, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.